GM Songy, how you doing?
Hello, GM Austin. Hi, everyone. This is Songy from Korea. Welcome, everybody.
And I'm Austin, coming in from Colorado. On this day, 10 years ago, the Ethereum blockchain was born. The Genesis block was minted at 3:26 p.m. UTC on July 30th, 2015, giving the world its first smart contract blockchain that could accommodate decentralized apps and programmable money. Ethereum established a new and open internet where users control their data, applications run without gatekeepers, and value flows freely between people. Ethereum benefits transparency, fairness, accessibility, efficiency, security, and programmability remain its foundation today.
Amazing. Ethereum's innovation enable entirely new industry like DeFi, NFTs, and DAOs. It expands blockchain beyond digital currency into a platform that reimagines how we create and exchange value. So, hey, Austin, now what are some key milestones and numbers of Ethereum?
Ethereum is where financial system is being rebuilt, with more than 230 billion secured by the Ethereum network across its L1 and L2 networks. After the Genesis block, for the rest of 2015, there were roughly 9,200 transactions a day. A transaction amount that actually happens every 9 minutes now.
Wow.
Cumulative, during the past decade, Ethereum has facilitated several billion transactions.
Woohoo!
And through it all, Ethereum has never gone down. 10 years, 16 major upgrades, 0 downtime. This is truly a platform meant for the ages.
Amazing milestone. And I love all those numbers. Thank you, Austin. But Ethereum is not only about the number of transactions or volume, but also it's about community. It's about the people. And it's about the culture that we cultivate together, right? Ethereum is where anyone and everyone has a permissionless access and build the apps and use the tools that improve our lives and societies. Ethereum, to me, is actually a space for experiment, a true infinite garden, giving a rise, living, a thriving, and vibrant ecosystem. And what does Ethereum mean to you? And welcome everybody who's joining us today. Just write down, take a moment and tell us what does Ethereum mean to you, to everyone, just on the comments. And now we are here today, finally, to acknowledge this shared journey that is in so many ways only just beginning. And today demonstrate how Ethereum unites us all, no matter where you are and who you are. And thank you everyone for sharing this moment with us in this time together. And Ethereum is a permissionless and decentralized. It belongs to all of us. And we have an amazing lineup today for this celebration. Austin, tell us what we have coming up.
We're going to travel around the world. We're going to take a walk down memory lane. We're going to look into the future of the Ethereum protocol. We're going to talk to a few builders. We're going to hear from Vitalik. We're going to hear from the co-executive directors of the Ethereum Foundation. And then we'll conclude with a special on-chain commemoration.
Woohoo! Yeah, we have an amazing community from all around the world with us today. And are you guys ready to meet some of them? And more than 100 meetups are happening in the 51 countries today to celebrate Ethereum. And let us pop in and then meet a few of them.
Let's see who we have first. Welcome, Toronto.
From all around the world with us today. And are you guys ready to meet some of them? And more than 100 meetups are happening in the 51. Oh, there is a little bit of delay.
Yeah, it's a delay.
To celebrate
Shout it out.
And let us pop in and then meet a few of them.
Welcome, Toronto. You're on.
Welcome, Toronto.
Hi. Is it not showing? Hi, Nigel from Toronto.
Awesome. And then next, I think, is Argentina. Yeah, the delay is going to be strange for folks if they're watching live and watching. Let's see what Argentina, how they're doing. It's great when you think about Ethereum. It's going to be all over the place. Here we go. Hola, Argentina. Oh no, I don't think we could hear you. No audio.
But I can feel
Yes,
the Kandu's
yes.
smile.
Yes.
Now
There it is.
you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm here in Aleph. Aleph is a hub of innovation here in Argentina. You can see the mural created by the community, also a countdown, and you can show how many days are left until DevConnect. And here is the co-working space. It's still early here, but we will have a full day of panels, talks, and co-working day. And yeah, this is what's happening in Argentina today. It's a very huge space. And well,
Gracias,
happy
Kandu.
and happy day
Great.
for my Ethereum
Thank you for
friends.
sharing. I think maybe Barcelona is next. Let's see. Hola,
Here
Barcelona!
Here from Barcelona. We are here.
Hola.
Say
Hey.
hi.
Hey. Good crew, good crowd.
And then now the people of Nigeria, Halfaniza, Una, welcome.
There they are. Oh, you're muted.
Hello, welcome to Lagos, everybody. Welcome to Lagos, Nigeria. Let's go meet the guys. Hello, Lagos. Can we shout out to everyone? Women.
Wow, it's a huge crew.
Great
I'm
crowd.
supposed to do that.
Amazing. Thank you, Ayo, and thank you, everybody. And then let's tune into Tel Aviv. Shalom, Tel Aviv.
Shalom. Hi from Tel Aviv.
Ooh, live from Tel Aviv. Hi, Austin. Hi, Sungi. I hope you guys are doing well.
Hello,
We have
friends.
Bamba here. We're celebrating Ethereum's birthday. And we love it and we love you. And see you guys soon.
See you soon. Thanks, guys.
Great
Amazing.
crowds.
Yeah, amazing crowd. And then last one is welcome, Mumbai.
Hello, everyone. There might be a audio. Hi. It's a global family. And here's everyone from Mumbai.
Hey.
Amazing, just incredible. And every one of you make Ethereum what it is today and what it will be tomorrow. And thank you everyone again for being with us today all around the world in our 51 country or the 100 meetup. And I'm so excited. And then now we actually have a special guest. We hear it from Tim Beiko from Ethereum Foundation to tell us about the Ethereum roadmap. We all know Tim, who leads the weekly protocol call. We are only here today because of the work many of you have done on the protocol. And it's truly amazing. And the same is the truth for where Ethereum is headed. And that is only possible because of work and planning and discussion and research that has yet to happen. Tim, take it away. Stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for having me. Let me see if I can get my slides working. Okay. Oh, awesome. So, yes, I'm supposed to talk about the Ethereum roadmap today. And because it's Ethereum's 10-year celebration, instead of just focusing on what's in this hard fork or the next hard fork, I wanted to zoom out a little bit more and try to look at Ethereum's roadmap from the very beginning and into the next 10 years. And so, a good place to start here is the original announcement for Ethereum. This came on the Bitcoin Talk Forum in 2013, where Ethereum was presented as trying to build a modular, stateful, Turing-complete contract scripting system married to a blockchain. In other words, this is basically a blockchain with smart contracts. And this was a really ambitious vision at the time. There was nothing that existed like it. And it took many years to actually get this from, this initial idea to the original Genesis block. This blog post came out in 2013, January. It took about 18 months for the team to feel confident enough to raise money for this. So in those 18 months, there were prototypes built, test nets, clients, bug bounties, and whatnot. And by July 2014, there was enough confidence in like the overall soundness of this idea that at the Ethereum crowd sale went live. And even from that point, it took another year of testing and development to actually launch Ethereum. And since then, basically 10 years ago to the day today, Ethereum has never gone down. So it's become this like inevitable chain that exists and processes smart contract transactions. And launching Ethereum wasn't the only ambitious part of the roadmap. So from the very beginning, there was this ambition of moving to proof of stake, at the time called Serenity. And again, if you look kind of in the early days, ever since 2015 or so, there were these research posts trying to explore what the design would be, how this would work. After a couple more years, we finally had a prototype in 2018, which was a hybrid between proof of work and proof of stake. We thought this might be the way forward, but realized there was many issues with it, so decided to scrap the whole thing and come up with the beacon chain as it exists today, which led to effectively the most decentralized proof of stake system in the world, securing the most value at stake. So again, one of these just like multi-year ambitious projects that it eventually ended up shipping and that is still here today. So one way to think about this is that Ethereum's roadmap at a high level is taking things that seem impossible and making them inevitable and just exist in the background today everywhere. And obviously, as we go through this process, there's often this messy middle stage where things become impractical or look like they're not going to work out. And this isn't just true at the protocol level. I think if you look even at the application, the community, the ecosystem on Ethereum, you see this pattern over and over. Probably the most clear example at the application level in Ethereum's history is the arrival of DAOs. So DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations, or this idea that was first hinted at in the 90s, got formalized around 2013 with Bitcoin being around, but didn't really have a place to exist until Ethereum came into being. And then by 2016, effectively, the most popular application on Ethereum ended up being the DAO, which was this on-chain VC fund that people could crowdfund into and help decide which projects to build. So we kind of went from like this abstract idea to using this on chain, but that turned out to be messy as well. Right at the peak of its fundraise, the DAO actually got hacked. So 9 years ago today, someone posted this message on Reddit saying they think the DAO is getting drained and all the funds are being stolen. And to put this in perspective, the DAO had raised 11 million ETH at the time, which was more than all of the ETH in all of the L2s that exist today. So there was a way to fix this issue and recover the fund, but it was very complicated and contentious. It led to this DAO hard fork, which led to Ethereum Classic and this whole split, kind of showing this like messy part in the process. But after that, people didn't give up. So this other DAO came up a couple of years after, when people were kind of disenchanted about the idea of DAOs and skeptical of them, called Moloch DAO, and tried to reimagine DAOs from like the most basic principles. And, instead of raising hundreds of millions of dollars, raised a modest amount, 1,000 ETH at the time, which was worth much less, and tried to focus on like a single thing, which was funding high impact grants for the ecosystem. And that basically led to like a DAO revival, where today, if you look at DAOs, they're this fundamental building block of basically everything we do in crypto, whether it's governing L2s, DeFi, public goods, and even things outside of crypto, like, things like Ukraine DAO, which are set up as quick fundraising tools for a very specific issue. And again, if you look throughout the Ethereum ecosystem, you can see this pattern over and over. DeFi is something that wasn't possible before the arrival of Ethereum. And the early stages with Ether Delta and on-chain order books are very messy. But we obviously iterated on that. And today, as I was preparing for this talk, looking at the Uniswap volumes, they've basically reached $3 trillion in total volume since the launch of Uniswap. And then similarly, you look at like the protocol roadmap, where we had this idea around sharding, where we have all these different applications running into parallel, coming into sync on the beacon chain. And it wasn't pretty clear how that would work. But then over time, we refined this idea and got to the rollup centric roadmap. And today rollups are live and they secure tens of billions of dollars. And even zooming out, for a second, you can look at something like prediction markets, which was this academic idea that didn't quite have a place to exist and be tested in the real world at scale. And Ethereum is where it effectively became mainstream and is now this background part of a lot of political conversations and a bunch of other world events. And then last but not least, at the protocol level, probably the biggest change we've done there was the merge. So moving Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake once the two chains were live. It was hard enough to get both of these chains up and running, but it took even more time to figure out what the transition would be from one to the other without having any downtime or requiring any migration from the users or the applications. So these are all cases where I think Ethereum has kind of showed that it can go from these impossible seeming ideas and make them seem inevitable. And so one way to think about the roadmap today, looking into the future, is there are things that were probably impossible when Ethereum launched that look impractical today, and that 10 years from now, when we hit the slot 38,549,829, will just be inevitable. And those are probably the biggest areas of opportunities around Ethereum, both at the protocol and application layer. Some examples of this, this is not comprehensive, but looking at the protocol, one obvious one is just this idea of an L1 ZK EVM, which just a few years ago seemed completely impossible. And now today we're at the point where dozens of teams are working on real-time proving. Some of them have begun to actually hit the performance numbers that are required to just do full cryptographic proofs of Ethereum in real time as it's running. Or this idea of bringing the global economy on chain, where if you look at Ethereum's early days, it was mostly scams and then mostly gambling. And, over time, applications grew. Now we have stable coins that are one of the first things to reach kind of global product market fit. And we can start being much more ambitious and asking yourselves, what would it look like to actually secure trillions on chain? What do we need? What's the infrastructure that's required? And kind of having that level of ambition to the security of what we built. And beyond just actually using the chain for the protocol itself or for application, there's a bunch of other ways in which Ethereum can export its values or its technologies in very different contexts and have a huge impact on the world that way. Whether it's something like DIAC, which is looking at different fields and their definition of progress and how we should handle it, and whether or not they align with Ethereum's philosophies. Or something like Summer of Protocols, which is trying to derive this kind of theory around how protocols work, both within crypto and outside. And we also have these physical embodiments of Ethereum's culture and that leverage Ethereum's technology, things like Zuzelu and Edge City, where we can reimagine what does it look like to build a community based around Ethereum's values and how we've worked together. So all of these things are just examples, but they're meant to highlight that at a high level, you can think of Ethereum's roadmap as bringing things from impossible to inevitable, and that this is what we're going to keep doing over the next 10 years. So thank you all very much, and happy birthday to Ethereum.
Amazing. Thank you, Tim. That is awesome. The transition from impossible to impractical to inevitable. The L1 ZK EVM, global economies, Ethereum in real life. Ethereum is inevitable.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. This leads us to our next segment, building on Ethereum, one that I'm particularly excited about. Ethereum provides developers with the biggest canvas for experimentation. Millions of people every day use these thousands of decentralized apps on Ethereum. You can deploy apps on the world computer that never go down, can't be stopped or tampered with, and create real-world impact. Let's talk to a few builders now about their project. The first we're going to talk to is People Pleaser, a wonderful artist. Let's hear from People Pleaser. I think there's a video. Let's roll it.
Thank you. So White Rabbit actually started because I just wanted to make a cool anime film about crypto and AI, but I had zero connections to Hollywood or traditional filmmaking. Like, how does one even get to make a movie? And so Michelle, my co-founder, and I came up with this choose your own adventure mechanic and launched it on Ethereum mainnet in 2022. And we sold out all producer pass NFTs in 20 minutes, which funded the rest of the production. and holders could stake to vote on story outcomes, so the community actively shaped the narrative as well. And what made it extra meaningful is that all of this participation and the provenance behind it is permanently recorded on chain. And so our end credits were updated in real time when it was live, and it shows every wallet address that interacted with the project. And then so if you go watch the credits now, you'll see a scroll of ENS names and wallet addresses in the producer credits. And that's something that I'm really proud of and I think is very special. So yeah, to now see it evolve from an on-chain anime to Emmy finalist just shows what's possible when you give the power back to creators and fans. And Ethereum made that possible, both technically and philosophically. I chose Ethereum to build on because, well, I saw this tweet recently that talked about all the different graduating classes of crypto bull runs, and it credited the 2017 ICO era to Ethereum OGs, and said that they are very philosophically driven and cypherpunk and building toward the infinite garden. And I just really resonated with that. And my favorite part of the Ethereum ecosystem is honestly the people. So Ethereum attracts this rare mix of builders, artists, and weird internet theorists and idealists, and just people who are down to experiment and make things better. So yeah, I love that. And my hope for blockchain in the next 10 years is that I want to see more artists and creators owning their IP, and more communities co-creating culture. So the next 10 years could be about scaling that impact and building systems that aren't just technically sound, but also emotionally resonant as well. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, people pleaser. And the next one is up from Ivo from Embarrio.
Hey everyone, I'm Ivo, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Ambire, a browser extension wallet that makes self-custody easy and secure for everyone. And our mission is just that, to ensure that society has an ability to self-custody their funds and data in a secure and accessible way. And me and my team, we believe that Ethereum and the broader EVM ecosystem is the best foundation for this, as it's resilient, censorship resistant, decentralized, but also programmable, enabling next generation use cases like decentralized finance and practically the next generation of fintech applications, but also non-financial applications. So my favorite part of the Ethereum ecosystem must definitely be the people. I think Ethereum attracts like-minded individuals who are very cyberpunk, but also it attracts them in a very close and driven community, only within a few degrees of separation. And I think many of the builders are philosophically driven by the need to make humanity better, and this just leads to better products at the end, even though it takes more time. And my hope for blockchain technology going forward is to finally get meaningful convergence between AI and Web3. And I think Ethereum practically can serve as guardrails to AI, ensuring that so-called agentification can happen without security and without privacy risks.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, our next builder is using ZK, one of my favorite texts to combo move with blockchain. Let's hear from Theo from ZK Passport.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tim Beiko, a software engineer originally from France, but now living in Lisbon, Portugal for nearly 3 years. And I'm one of the founders of ZK Passport. So roughly what we do at ZK Passport is that we use government-issued IDs, such as passport, like this one, national IDs, or even residence permits that have a chip in them. And that's actually a fair amount of them. So we're talking about millions, if not billions, of people capable of using our solutions. And what we do roughly is that we have our app available both on iOS and Android that's capable of reading the data from the chip through NFC. That data is read, stored, and encrypted locally on the device, so you remain in full control of your information. And then a zero-knowledge proof is generated locally on the device from that data. That data is signed by the issuing country. So essentially, within that zero-knowledge proof, we verify the signature over your passport data or national ID data straight on your device. So that attests to the validity and the authenticity of the document while not revealing any information beyond that. And from this, we're able to selectively disclose whatever information you want to prove about yourself, such as being over 18, being from a given country, or what is your official name, or whatever information you can derive from such IDs. What we hope to achieve with this is to build a solution that can reach a lot of people and that can bring identity in the digital age while respecting people's privacy. So that's something we're able to achieve, and that's something that's also breaking away from the current status quo of KYCs, where you're sending your whole ID to KYC provider, and then you hope that it is handled properly and securely. But we had many examples in the past few months, weeks, or even days of data leaks of IDs that essentially exposed everyone. So we want to remove that risk, and by moving all to the cloud side, we're able to do that. Otherwise, what I would say about the ecosystem as a whole, beyond just identity, is that we need a greater focus on privacy, because I believe this is the last remaining building block that we need for the ecosystem to thrive and have actual application for end users. There's a common misconception that users don't care about privacy. It's a framing issue in my view. And the way I would put it is, it's not that they don't care, it's that they don't think about it. When they use their banking app, they're not thinking about whether their balance is going to be visible by their neighbors, by their coworkers. For them, it's obvious that it's not going to be the case. They don't think about it. But if it actually happens that that is viewable by anyone, then that becomes a problem. And they may actually care about it. So remember this, it's not that users don't care about privacy, it's that they don't think about it, but they still care.
Awesome. It's very inspiring stories. And what I love about all of them is actually shows the, you can build anything on Ethereum, from art to identity, and then way beyond and more. Next, we have Joe and then Vitalik waiting for us. That's going to discuss about the past decade of Ethereum. To build the future, you have to understand the past. So we'll love to, and very excited to hear these two men talking about, our shared value and where we are headed. And Joe, you don't need an introduction. Stage is yours.
Hey everyone. Hey Vitalik. Hey everyone. Thanks for joining our decentralized yet remarkably well-coordinated celebration. Hey Vitalik, happy East 10th, 10 years. How are you feeling? Are you satisfied, excited, tired, liberated? Are you bullish? I'm not hearing Vitalik.
Oh no, V, come back.
Hey Austin.
I'm bullish. I can answer that.
He's tired.
V, let's go. Let's go, V.
Exactly. It is overwhelming.
It is.
What country is Vitalik in? Do we know? Undisclosed secret location?
Always.
How about you, Joe? How do you feel?
I am certainly bullish. So feeling incredibly invigorated by what's been going on recently. I'm generally pretty optimistic about things in our ecosystem. I'm generally able to see all the great things that are going on, that are getting built, the progress that is being made, even while people feel like we're in the doldrums, and even while major nation states are trying to kill us. But the unlocks that have been stacking on top of one another right now are just mind-blowing. So we're accelerating pretty fast.
I feel like you really turned up your Twitter game maybe in January or February. Is that true?
Yeah. So we put a lot of effort and attention into marketing Ethereum in the early days. Consensus did, and then along came Elizabeth Warren and Chair Gensler, and then the Inquisition that the SEC, the SEC Inquisition of our industry, and so They were trying to pin some stuff on us at Consensus and trying to pin the merge, the reclassification of Ether as a security secret reclassification. And so we had to be quiet publicly, but now we can be
Now
loud.
we can be loud. Hell yeah.
Hey,
Man is back. We'll get out of here.
He's back.
Can you hear me, Vitalik?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Excellent. Awesome. So happy East 10. How are you feeling? Are you satisfied, excited? Are you tired? Are you feeling liberated? Are you even feeling bullish?
I mean, it's been a very wild and fun ride, and I'm definitely excited for the next 10.
Awesome. So were you able to listen to the three devs or the three builders at different stages of their journey? So what can you say about the range of what people are building on Ethereum today?
And I think one of the reasons why we started Ethereum in the first place, right, was that we were excited about just opening up this free space for all kinds of creation and innovation, right? That if we build a general purpose platform that anyone can just go and code and do things on, then we'll see all kinds of people doing things, including even like applications and like people ideas that we haven't even imagined. And I think it's been interesting to see that I think in the 10 years since then, like we've seen a lot of things that definitely were in the white paper, right? So, there's a lot of DeFi in there. There's, decentralized domain name system. And now we have ENS. NFTs were not in the white paper though.
Can you see my shirt?
Yes, I can. Yeah,
so this is vintage April 2014, and I've got decentralized Dropbox on the back.
Amazing. Well, that's probably one that hasn't quite taken off.
Exactly. It's on my shirt, though.
Indeed, as much yet, but it's yeah. I mean, I think it will get there for the things that need it. Yeah, it's so. And even like some of the work that Ambire is doing, I mean, a lot of it is like following along the exact same themes that we were talking about back then, and like enabling better and more secure forms of self-custody for all kinds of things. So in different kinds of digital communities, like there's a lot of the themes were there, but also there were definitely a huge number of just really interesting surprises along the way, right? Like NFTs, as I mentioned, definitely a big surprise for me. I mean, the order in which a lot of the financial stuff happened, definitely also, I think, there are also things that like didn't work at first, but then are starting to work now, right? Like, I mean, I was excited about prediction markets, and then for the first like 7 years, they seemed like a disappointment. And now like Polymarket is amazing. And then, we also have all the work that Gnosis and like with Omen has been doing, and there's True Markets popping up and all of this. So then like if it just feels just really amazing to see this whole ecosystem grow and people do all the different things.
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited about prediction markets, decision markets, futarchy, DAOs governed by futarchy or FAOs. I think that if through Polymarket, Myriad, and other Oman and other prediction markets, if we can get the population to start using these things and bring a ton of liquidity, lots of propositions, then we can actually have enough activity to start doing decision markets. So I do think that markets are going to be a way that we're going to be able to govern going forward. And so related to that stuff from a high level perspective, what struck me early on about our ecosystem was that in these early meetups that we would throw and go to, people of all different political philosophies, from crypto anarchists to centrists to socialists, would all resonate with the potential of our technology and essentially see it as supporting their own views. So they all considered Ethereum their own tech, and as long as the base layer one was radically free market capitalist, or even something that could be called collective capitalism. As long as it remained permissionless and uncensorable, anybody could build projects, companies, network states according to their own political philosophies. So going back before the Genesis blog or the first year or two, I know you were focused on the tech, but were you actually thinking forward and trying to map out some of the evolution of how the tech and the ecosystem would transform the world? TradFi, the legacy economy.
I think like for the first definitely 8 years or so, my mindset has been like experimental. Like let's just try all the things and let's see what works, right? And I think with the way the technology was for most of that time, like experimental was mostly the only thing that we could do, right? But now we have these amazing and very functional L2s. We have also increasing scale happening on L1, continually improving UX everywhere. So it's also continually improving privacy now. So it's like actually, getting to the point where a lot of things, and also just like code maturity on the application side, that it's ready for people to use it at a much larger scale. And like that's actually is starting to happen now. I mean, did I think much about what kinds of RWAs would be happening, like what kinds of synthetics we would see, like what kinds of actors, like would people like Robinhood be doing anything? Like not too much. And I think like that side of things is definitely not my expertise anywhere near as much as the technology is. So I think making things work at all was definitely a big focus early on. And now, of course, I mean, I think like for me now, the focuses are like one is just making sure that the technology can keep up with the things that people wants to do, and like making sure that the open and secure and permissionless versions of all of the different applications actually win out, or at least get their fair shot at winning out. So, and like the kinds of challenges that we're going to have over the next 5 years or so are definitely much more of like that kind of more concrete application oriented type of category. But it's and I think managing that, and by like also continuing to like keep that experimental side alive is going to be very important for us.
Yeah, the challenges are coming as this technology gets integrated with different nation states with different political philosophies. We're able to keep our heads down and build for about 8-9 years before we were noticed, but we're on the world stage now. So can you articulate how you think about Ethereum core values and how they guided Ethereum's growth, or maybe how certain things challenged the adherence to those core values?
So I think the core thing of what Ethereum is it's a global, secure, permissionless platform for building general purpose applications, right? And I think like just even if you start with that, then that starts like everything else really comes out of that, right? And for a platform to be permissionless and global, it has to be censorship resistant, because if it's not, then actually you end up losing both of those things pretty quickly. The platform has to be robust against attacks. It can't go down. And I think Ethereum has a really amazing record of staying online for the last 10 years. It can't go down. It has to like actually be programmable if he wants to be open to people building their own things on top of it. And I think the core of what it's for, right, is basically enabling applications that continue to both move humanity forward and to improve our ability to cooperate, but at the same time protect people's digital rights and self-sovereignty. And I think for that to be possible at all, the platform really needs to have all of those properties embedded in it, and of course applications do as well.
Heck yeah.
What core value of moving on to the next thing and staying on time?
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, V. What a great discussion. Let's try all the things. The challenges are coming. Ethereum is what it is because of you guys, and we as an ecosystem, thank you. So let's keep it rolling. We're going to talk about where we're headed next by bringing in the co-executive director of the Ethereum Foundation, Tomasz, and Hsiao-wei in this conversation with Vitalik. Tomasz previously led Nethermind. He's part of the Ethereum space for many years. Hsiao-wei joined in 2017 in the protocol R&D of EF. Together, they are heading up the Ethereum Foundation, helping to steward Ethereum along its core values and work directly with it. Take it away, Vitalik, Hsiao-wei, and Tomasz.
Great. Yay, hello, and yay, happy birthday, Ethereum.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
So I guess first opening question to both of you. So I think you have both been involved in Ethereum for many years, and came into the ecosystem from different places, have been involved in different roles, and now both of you have come together as co-EDs of the EF. What are the changes that you've seen in the ecosystem, and how has the whole process felt for you?
Okay, I can start. Okay, I think for the ecosystems, I think I joined IEF 8 years ago. So by that time, Ethereum, is the very first successful smart contract leading platform for the blockchain applications. And ever since we are still leading in the application there. But I think the whole community has grown faster and bigger than what we could expected after the 8 years. And so I think the way I see the picture of what Ethereum could be 8 years ago is definitely different from right now. I think when we look back at the decisions echo. Okay. It's like I think when we go back to see the decisions that maybe the EF made or the community made, like ACD has made, it's sometimes there were, if we do some 10 years retrospective, there were definitely some challenges that we could have done better, or the decisions that has been changed because of time, because of space. But I think all this challenges we made, we had, it was because the collaborative communications, the collaborative work that the whole ecosystem went together. And I think the process is very meaningful to bring us to the most decentralized platform and blockchain and community. So I think that's my 8 years retrospective for the years. And I can say more about this year. I think this year is because this is the co-ED interviews, then many things changed this year. I think we'll definitely see more stronger adoptions that happened to bring Ethereum to the real world. And then we also see from the community, from the EF internally, we both wanted to prioritize the things that, for example, privacy, security, and UX. I think they're so important properties. And then this year's, hopefully, we will be more focused on the communicating these core values, the important aspects, and then to form a more constrained communications, but still with the decentralized way to do it. Okay. Then Tomasz, dear Tomasz.
Sure. I mean, there's something that maybe I would love to express slightly different, opposite, that nothing changed, in the sense that there were so many people 10 years ago that when they were describing Ethereum, Vitalik, you in the white paper, you were sharing the vision, and everyone who picked it up, that feeling how the next 10 years look, how the next 10 years will look, they would describe the world that we're really observing now. And very often it would maybe start misbelieving that there is a bit too much of visionary thinking. But then it started existing in the minds of everyone who was building on Ethereum, who was building Ethereum infrastructure, applications on Ethereum, who were all the people who were gradually thinking of moving the global economy on Ethereum. And that's why I feel that nothing changed, because the world that we see now is like the world that we've seen in that vision that we've been describing and that we started building. So especially as Ethereum is a space of so many visionaries and the builders that have the long-term outlook, I'm pretty sure they very often, they see everything that they're building like it's real, like it's already happening. So that's for them. Nothing changed in the last 10 years, because that we're just slowly transitioned from the dreams to reality. And I think that's what's beautiful, is those people stayed with Ethereum and are dreaming the next 10 years and already see around the seeds of those next 10 years of Ethereum, which are even more incredible. And it's worth to have conversations with everyone building applications and infrastructure in Ethereum to understand how the world in 10 years will look.
So, question for Hsiao-wei. Yeah. So, how do you see the role of the EF in Ethereum, and how has that role been changing over time?
So I think Ethereum Foundations, the organization that you found, I think at the beginning that it was the only community builders and business builders to the whole world for the whole Ethereum as a project. So I mean, ever since then the Ethereum community, the users, the builders, the enterprise adoptions that have definitely grown a lot. And like today, I checked the Beacon chain, like we have 1 million validators nowadays, and then located in like 70 more countries. So now the EF's role is and its impact is decreasing, but that's also what I'm glad to see. And then everything like EF's role is less because we see more and more community leaders that stand out and then to do more things. So I think the EF will still be the strong community, the strong core values stewards, guardians. But we will do more on the important things that only we can do. Okay.
Yeah, when I think about the EF, there are a few ways of looking at it. One, EF is an organization, an institution. So we say that through Ethereum, we'll be melting all the institutions and governance into the network, and they will become maybe ephemeral or maybe part of the culture. So I'd love to see Ethereum to be one of the strong cultural elements of the future of Ethereum network. And whether it has to exist as an organization or just the cultural component, that still will always aspire for a lot of positive impact and coordination and influence in Ethereum among the others. So never central, never significant in a sense of mind share, market share, but always significant in a sense of effort and aspiring to be the best possible organization and cultural thing.
So actually, Tomasz, can you so I think one unique thing about Ethereum that you've touched on, right, is that like this isn't a tech product, right? This isn't like something like Facebook or like whatever Uber or whatever else, where like this is like where basically there's like a company and it has connections to customers and it's providing services, and that's kind of all that there is to it, right? There's a community, there is a lot of people with these like very deep and diverse underlying goals that really motivate. I mean, like what are the reasons why they came into Ethereum? So can you talk about like what do some of Ethereum's underlying goals mean to you, and like what kind of a world he wants to see Ethereum help to create?
Sure. At the same time, I see that we are being rushed to be exactly on time with the countdown. So I wonder if we should have the countdown now, Andrew.
Not yet. Almost.
All
I'm
right.
getting there.
Okay. So
do you want to answer? Yeah.
Stop me a moment.
Make it short and go ahead.
Well, I definitely want to see this wild future of Ethereum as, in a way, as a technology, but technology is so deeply embedded that you almost like start interacting with it like it's an ambient thing. The ambient trust and privacy and something that exists, that we start using Ethereum instead of on-chain, and we just talk about the Ethereum world as something that delivers trust and privacy and security for all interactions between humans, between AI, preserving the human-to-human privacy, general privacy and identity of humans, and the ability to choose between the moments of your own identity and your own thinking process and the moment of entering into that space of collective minds, which nowadays maybe is internet, social media, and turns into like some kind of global intelligence, the coordination that changes the world into a factorial like game when we build everything and we can look at all of this is constructed, all is open source, and we can look into the details of the machinery of the world, of the healthcare, of the education, of the production lines, and we can invest in ideas, we can stream our ideas into that world. And I think it's both connecting and giving us space to be individual and creative.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tomasz and Hsiao-wei and Vitalik. And as just one voice among the whole Ethereum community, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and beyond just three of you who step up to make Ethereum what it is today. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you.
Yeah, this is incredible and very exciting. And we are heading to the countdown almost. Now we are going to spotlight some of the special individuals. Austin.
A couple weeks ago, the Ethereum Torch was introduced as an NFT embodying the decentralization and community that defines Ethereum's first decade. Since then, the Ethereum Torch has journeyed across the global ecosystem, going from wallet to these 10 individuals who have played a role in shaping Ethereum during the past decade and will continue to play a role defining the future.
And each torchbearer held the Ethereum Torch for 24 hours before passing it to the next temporary guardians. And then you might have seen them posting about it online, and each one of them share their story along with the way. And then we wanted to recognize them here.
Joe from the US.
Audrey from Taiwan.
Minaj in India.
Roman and Alex from Global.
Michael in Switzerland.
And Letizia in Italy.
Ayo in Nigeria.
And Alex, Ukraine.
And Anthony in Australia.
And then the Kandu, last but not the least. Kandu from Argentina, who will now do a ceremonial burn of the NFT by sending it to the null address.
Here we go. Look at this. 22
go.
seconds remaining. Are we good? Yes, here it comes.
Almost
and after
there.
the countdown, there's going to be a QR code for that NFT. But here we go. We're at 10. We're at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10,
9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is, right here on the validator. Whoa! Yes, awesome.
Happy
Amazing.
Ethereum! Woohoo! Wow,
Amazing.
now we are officially in the second decade of Ethereum. That's amazing.